I am teacher Suzanne, and I am here to give you some tips and techniques on how you should answer your ESL paper. Okay, so we will begin with some of the your goals of this course. Okay, so IGCSE ESL language ESL paper is for learners who already have a working knowledge of the language. So it's suitable for learners whose first language is not English. And your target is to develop the ability to understand and use English in range of situation. So for ESL, we have 3 components. The first one is paper 2, paper 4, and component 5. So let's have a look at the component and how much marks is given and what is assessed, and the percentage of the qualification of this paper. So first, paper 2. Paper 2 is the reading and writing paper. The duration of this paper is for 2 hours, and the total marks is 80. So 40 marks for reading and another 40 for writing. So what is assessed in paper 2 is you will have 6 exercises which test a range of reading and writing skills. So for exercise 1, we have reading. Exercise 2, we have multiple matching. Exercise 3, note making. Exercise 4, summary. Exercise 5, writing. And then exercise 6, another writing. Okay. So all these papers will be externally assessed, and the qualification, the percentage of qualification for paper 2 is 70%. Right? And the next one is paper 4. Paper 4 is your listening paper, and the duration of this paper will be approximately 50 minutes, and the overall marks will be 40. So in this paper, you will have 5 exercises where you listen to several short extracts and longer text and complete a range of task types. So you have 5 exercises. The first one is exercise 1, you have to write short answers. Exercise 2, you have to gap fill in notes or sentences. Exercise 3 is multiple matching. Exercise 4 is multiple choice. And exercise 5 will be gap fill in notes and sentences. So exercise 2 and exercise 5 will be almost similar. And this paper 4, it contributes 30% to your overall grade. Moving on to the third paper, which is component 5. Component 5 is a speaking test. All right. So this speaking test, the duration will be approximately 10 to 15 minutes. And the overall marks will be 30. So what you as a candidate you need to do is you take part in a speaking test with an examiner. So first you will have a 2 to 3 minutes warm-up conversation, which it is not assessed. And then you are given a topic. You are given a topic card and have 2 to 3 minutes to prepare what you will have to say. After that, you'll be given 6 to 9 minutes where you need to have a conversation with the examiner. And this is the only part that will be assessed. All right. And please remember, for this component 5, which is your speaking test, it will be internally assessed and externally moderated, which means the marks will be given by your teacher itself. All right. So this is a separate result given. It's not externally assessed like how paper 2 and paper 4 is. Okay. So I'm going to share some general advice for this paper. All right. For paper 2, paper 4, and paper 5. All right. Just general advice. The first is you need to think about how you are going to manage your time before you actually take the exam. Okay. You need to remember that you need to leave enough time for exercise 4, 5, and 6 in paper 2. This is because exercise 4, 5, and 6, it requires writing. Okay. So you need to manage your time well. If you cannot spend too much time on exercise 1 and exercise 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And next, you need to remember to keep to the word limit. As you all know, for summary, for your email writing, and then for your formal writing, there is word limit given in the question itself. Okay, so before the examination, please check how many words you write online. And then you will know approximately how many lines you will need for exercise 4, 5, and 6. So remember, the word limit is very important. Next, you have to work out what the question is asking for before reading the text by identifying the keywords. Okay, and for exercises that test on reading skills, there's certain reading strategies that you can follow where you can first read quickly, which is called as skimming, all right, where you get to concentrate on finding the main idea in each paragraph. You will then need to reread the relevant sections of the text more carefully and then scan to find the answer. Next is handwriting also is very important, okay, when you complete the exercises, because sometimes you have to write the names or other proper nouns, okay? So please remember, examiners are looking for the correct use of capital letters with nouns. So you must take this completely clear when you write. So please remember, your papers are externally assessed and it is marked by the Cambridge examiners. Okay, so if they are not able to read your writing, then they might deduct your marks. And also, don't forget, you must keep some time at the end to read through your writing to check the answers for each question and whether it makes sense. And not only that, please make sure you use this time to check your spelling. This is a language paper, so spelling also plays a very important role. And also not to forget, for exercise 4, 5, and 6, you must leave time to check your punctuation, your grammar, because all these exercises are testing your writing skills. Now, let's have a look at the overview of paper 2, which is your reading and writing paper. For this session, for today's session, all right, the first session that we're having now, I'm only focusing on paper 2, where we will go through exercise 1 all the way to exercise 4. And then in our next session, I will continue with exercise 5 and 6. So have a look at these exercises. I think we already go through this earlier. Just look at how the marks are divided. Okay, so for exercise 1, for the reading, the total marks is 13 for reading. And then exercise 2, multiple matching, 10 for reading as well. Exercise 3, note making, 9 for reading skills also. And then exercise 4 for your summary writing, you'll get 8 marks for reading, where you will need to find the content points in the passage. So you read to get the content points. So 8 marks for reading and another 8 marks for the writing. Okay, once you write your summary, you will receive another 8 marks. So the total marks will be 16. Exercise 5 is a writing where you write an email. So this marks for writing is 16. And then the last one, exercise 6, the formal writing where you write either a report or review or an article. So you will get another 16 for your writing skills. So the overall marks for paper 2 will be 80. Okay. Now, without any further delay, let's start with the first exercise in paper 2. Okay, which is exercise 1, reading and comprehension. So in reading and comprehension exercise, you will read a text and answer a series of questions. Okay, you are required to write short answers where you need to write single word or phrase. So usually what they'll provide you is they'll either give you article or blog or web pages. Okay, and you are assessed on your ability to identify and select the relevant information only. The total marks is 13. So I'll show you what this question will look like. This is an example question. Okay, you will get a passage. All right, it's just a sample. And then you'll be given 9 questions for that passage. Okay, so you see 9 questions, and certain questions there will be you need to answer 2 answers. You need to provide 2 details, and some questions you might provide 4 details. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the techniques on how you should answer. So first thing, before you actually start reading, you need to make sure you read the questions first. All those 9 questions. You have to go through the questions before you actually start reading the passage. So first, examiner tip 1, you need to read the questions first, then only you will know what details to look for before you actually start reading. Examiner tip 2, make sure you highlight important words in the question to remind you what detail you are looking for. For example, the keyword is the year of the first discovery, so you underline that. Okay, so when you read through the passage, you already know what detail you're looking for. Next, examiner tip 3, so most of the questions in exercise 1, it requires only one detail. However, some questions, usually question number 2 or question number 9, will require you to write more than one. Okay, so make sure you know how many details are required before you actually start reading. And also, examiner tip 4, sometimes you need to look at the text again to check that you have selected the correct detail. It's easier to check your answers if you underline them in the text. If you don't underline your answers, then you might have to read some of the parts of the text again and you will waste your time. Okay, so avoid doing that. Examiner tip 6, you have to keep your answers short. Select only the correct phrase, not the whole sentence. Because when you write a lot, you will waste time again. Okay, so avoid wasting time because paper 2 is 2 hours, but you have 6 exercises. So you need to manage your time well. And examiner tip 7, there is no need for you to paraphrase your answers in exercise 1. Copy the answer as it is written in the text. This is a reading exercise, so you can just take the answers from the passage as how it is. Okay, you don't have to paraphrase, you don't have to write in your own words. Okay, because if you write in your own words, you might change the meaning and it will be a wrong answer. So don't waste your time changing the meaning of the words. And then examiner tip 8. Okay, if you include a distracting detail together with a correct detail, the whole answer would be wrong and wouldn't be given any marks. Okay, just take the key points only. Examiner tip 9, it is very difficult to find answers to question number 9. All right, as you all know, question number 9, it requires you to write 4 details. So what you need to do is, for question number 9, you have to read the text all over again after you have answered question 1 to 8. You can read the text much more quickly the second time and focus on only the 4 details. So please remember that. So for exercise 1, let me recap again. Make sure you underline the question word and think about what it means. Okay. If the question says where, it means they're asking for a place name. Okay. If the question says how, then they're asking you in what way. And if the question says why, that means they are looking for a reason or a cause. And you should also underline any other important words in the question, such as nouns or verbs that provide information that you might need to find in the text. And also, not to forget, you need to try to match the words in the question with the correct place in the text. Okay? If you can't match any words, remember, the word in the question might be a synonym. Okay, synonym means a different word that has the same meaning. So if you still can't locate the right answer, then read up or down from the sentence you found, or you can make a guess. Avoid leaving any spaces blank. Okay, exercise 1, all the answers will be in the passage. Okay, so even if you don't know, try to guess or answer all the questions. Okay, do not leave any blanks. And notice if any question needs 2 details or to get 1 or 2 marks, make sure you write the separate answers carefully. As I already told you. Remember, exercise 1, you don't have to write in full sentence. Okay, keep your answers short and that will be enough. Moving on to exercise 2. Exercise 2 is called as multiple matching, where you will read a text and answer a series of questions testing more detailed comprehension. So your task is to match the correct answer to the question given. Okay, so usually they'll give you one continuous text, which is divided into sections or a number of shorter texts. The overall marks is 10. So I'm going to show you a sample of question. This is how the question will look like. You will read an article about 4 different people and their experience of studying. And you will have 10 statements. Okay. So this is the 4 short paragraph. This is how it will look like. Okay. So for extended candidates, it's always 4 articles. Okay. Usually you have to match the correct answer, correct opinion from the list on the opposite page. They'll give you 1 page filled with 4 short paragraphs like this. And then on the other page, you will have the 10 statements from the 4 different people. So once you go through all these 4 statements or opinion, you have to write the correct letter on the line provided on the right-hand side. Okay, can you see the dotted line there? There is where you write the letter of the people. And each opinion gives you 1 mark. So the total mark will be 10. So the examiner tip for this is, please remember that the order of the opinions on the list is not always the same order as they appear in the article. All right, this is important. Second, the vocabulary used in the opinions is not always the same as the vocabulary used in the text. This is why exercise 2 is a little tricky. It may seem easy, but it's actually tricky because they don't use the same words as how it is in the passage. Instead, they use synonyms. Okay, so the ideas are often paraphrased. Okay, so you have to read carefully both the passage and the opinions. Okay, and then you're also advised to highlight the important words in the question to remind you what detail you are looking for. And then examiner tip 3, you have to read 1 article at a time. Like I said, there's 4 short paragraphs. You have to read 1 at a time. And then you select all the opinions from the list that is in the article. Before you move on to the next article, you do 1 by 1. And also, you have to check if the opinion that you have found in the text matches the opinion from the list. Okay, if only 1 part is same, then it might not be the correct answer. Okay, it could be just a wrong, distracting detail to confuse you. All right, this is where you need to be careful. Avoid making careless mistake. So this is why you are encouraged to underline the detail in the text so that it will be easier for you to check them against the opinions on the list. And then you have to match all the opinions from the list. Once after you have matched all your opinions, you are advised not to leave any spaces blank. This is very simple, 10 marks, okay? It should be able for you to score. So even if you don't know the answer, try to guess it, okay? There are no extra opinions on the list, okay? All the opinions are expressed in one of the articles. So any of the 4, the answer is there, all right? And there's usually more than 1 opinion expressed in each of the articles. So that means you may have to use article A twice or even 3 times as your answer. So like I said earlier, a quick recap for exercise 2. Underline the important words in the question, okay, such as nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs, which will provide you information that you might need to find in the text. Once you have done that, you need to match the main idea to each question with the correct place in the text. So this is where you have to read more carefully to check whether the meaning matches the idea in the question. Be careful, exercise 2 is tricky because the idea will usually be written in a different way and in the statement. Okay, they'll use synonyms. And also, once you have already go through the opinions and the passages, you can start by matching up the questions to the right part of the text. Okay, for those who you're confident about. If you're very sure about the answer, you answer them first. And then you can try to do the rest of it, which you're not so sure of. Make it clear which is your final selection. If your answer is unclear, it cannot be marked. Remember, you cannot write more than 1 letter. Only 1 answer is accepted. If you put A/B, it's a wrong, okay? They only ask for 1 answer, so you should give only 1 answer. Clear so far, everybody? Any question for exercise 2? All right, moving on to exercise 3. Exercise 3 is called as note-taking. So in this exercise, you will make brief notes, all right, under a subline heading or headings related to a text printed in the question paper. So for this exercise, the goal is to test your skill to read the text and find key information, all right, key points. So in this exercise, it's very important for you to not repeat the information. all of your points must be different. And also one tip that I can give you for this exercise is you don't have to write any more than you can fit on the line that is given in the question. Your answer should be able to fit on the line that is given in the question. All right, unless your writing is too big, then maybe it crosses more than the line. But usually the standard writing, all right, of a candidate should fit on the line that is given. All right. So the total mark for this exercise is 9. Now let's have a look at the question. This is just a sample. Read the article about how to become an astronaut and then complete the notes on the following page. So they'll give you a passage like this. You will have to read the passage carefully, and then this is how your question will look like. They'll give you 2 headings. Headings is what we call something like titles there. Can you see the first one? Skills and personal qualities needed to become an astronaut. That's your first heading. Second heading, what is expected of astronauts while they are in space? So this is your second heading. So you see under the first heading, they ask you to write 5 notes. Okay, so you must write 5 notes for the first heading, and then the second heading, you need to write 4 notes. Okay, so let's go through the tips. The order of the headings for your notes may not always be the same order as they come in the text. It's usually mixed up in this question. It doesn't follow the same order. Second, you need to highlight the important words in the question. Same just like how you did for exercise 1 and 2. Whatever important words you can underline so that you know what you're looking for. Right? Examiner tip 3, you need to read the text, underline all the examples required for the first heading. You do step by step. Okay, don't do both at once. And then only you transfer the correct number of examples onto the lines provided under the first heading. Once you finish the first heading, you repeat the same step for the second heading. Like I said, the order of the headings doesn't come in the same order as they come in the text. So be careful. Try to match any heading with the correct place in the text. When you locate the place, read the text more carefully whether the meaning matches the idea in the question or not. The idea will be written in a different way. If you still can't locate the right answer, then you have to read up and down and make a guess. Please remember, the title of this exercise itself, note making. What does a note make means? A note means is you have to write your answers in short form. Okay, so make sure you keep your answers short. A very short phrase should be enough to get a mark. And another tip that I give you earlier, the dotted line on the question gives you a guide about how much you should write. Okay, too much writing can waste your time, and you also, if you give too much of information, then you might include wrong answers, which will make you to lose marks. So avoid writing too much for this exercise. Okay, another thing that you should remember is do not repeat the same idea. Even if you have written in a different way, you will lose marks there. And also, it is recommended that you copy the words from the text. Okay, note making is also a reading skill exercise where you just have to read and then you extract the points. You don't have to paraphrase, you don't have to write in your own words. So you can copy the words exactly how it is from the passage. And make sure you have spelled all the words correctly, right? Because misspelling may change the meaning of the words. Exercise 3, clear everybody? Do you have any question for me for exercise 3? Try to score well for this exercise as well. The total marks is just 9. Okay? Just remember, you must make short answers for this. All right? Shall we move on to exercise 4? Can? So exercise 4, you will start with the writing part. Okay? This is the last part of our session for today. Exercise 5 and 6, I will continue in the next session. Okay? So exercise 4 is called as summary writing. Do you all know what is a summary? Summary means a shortened version containing the key points in as few words as necessary. This is the definition of a summary. Okay? You summarize a whole text. Okay? So what you need to write is, usually the requirement for this question is for you to write a 100-word summary. okay, about an aspect of a text that is printed in the question paper. So writing a summary emphasizes in 4 basic skills. Okay, the first one is for you to identify key points of the passage given. This is your first skill. Second, articulating in your own words. It means that you have to paraphrase and rewrite the key points in your own choice of words. Okay, you cannot copy exactly from the passage. Third, sequencing the points cohesively. What does this mean? It means that you need to, after you have extracted your points, you need to organize them and arrange them in the correct order. For summary, you must follow the order as how it is given in the question. You cannot get your points mixed up. Okay, so this is another skill that you should achieve. And the fourth skill is for you to write your summary all within the given word count. So what is the word count for your summary again? 100, okay, 100 to 120 usually. You have to write in between this word limit given. And the total marks will be 16. I will tell you how is it 16. 8 marks for content points. So you must have 8 content points from the passage. And another 8 marks for your language. I'll go more in detail about that later. Now let's have a look at a sample of question for summary writing. This is a sample. You will read a following article written by a psychologist. Write a summary of the benefits of being bilingual. Okay, your summary should be about 100 words long and no more than 120 words long. You should use your own words as far as possible. So you see these words are in bold. It means that it's very important. You must pay attention to this. So usually in the question itself, they already give what are you going to write about. The title itself will be there. What's your topic all about? So in this summary, your topic is about the benefits of being bilingual. So you see in the question itself, it's stated 8 marks for the content of your summary and another 8 up to the style and accuracy of your language. So let's have a look at the sample of passage. This is how a passage will look like for your summary writing. So before you actually start reading, you need to read the instructions carefully, highlight important informations, okay? In the question, it will tell you how many words you need to write, what you should write, and what you should focus on. This is why the question is very important. Next, you need to also remember that how well you organize the content points in your summary is also important, okay? How you organize your content points. Remember, I told you it has to be in the correct order. You don't have to use them in the same order as they appear in the text. You can organize them in a way that you think that is more logical, okay? And then you have to join these content points, the ideas, using appropriate linking words or phrases. What is linking words? Linking words, anybody? Yes, like you have words like however, for example, furthermore, in addition. All these are linking words. So you can use linking words to join your sentences. And you also remember, even though you have to write summary in your own words, please remember it's not possible for you to paraphrase every single word, but you are encouraged to try and use your own words as much as you can. The more you use your own words, the higher marks you will receive for your language. And also remember, keep an approximate count as you are writing. You have to write within the word limit, so don't forget. It will also help you to see if you have enough words left to use for the remaining content points. This is why you have to keep count of your words. And don't forget, if your summary is not within the word limit, then it's either too short or too long, then you will lose marks. For summary, they are strict about this because of the word limit and how much content points is required. So to summarize this, okay, how you should answer your summary writing. These are the 5 stages that you should do when you answer summary writing. First, you need to read and understand the question. Second, you need to skim read the text and underline the points. Skimming means you go through the passage in a very quick manner. Stage 3, you rewrite the points. Stage 4, you rank your points in importance and similar idea. It means that, you need to organize your points. And then the last one is where you write the summary. So I'm going to go more in detail for stage 1 all the way to stage 5. For example, all right, so you see stage 1. Read the following article about the increasing problem of noise in our society. Write a summary about what we can do to reduce the stress caused by noise. So your topic here is you have to write about what people can do to reduce the stress caused by noise. Okay, this is stage 1. You understand the question first. Second, you have to skim through the paragraph. This is the paragraph. Once you skim through, you also need to underline the point as you're reading. What is the point related to the topic that they ask you to write about? Okay, you have to underline your points like this. Stage 3, once you have underlined, once you have extracted your points, you have to rewrite the points, okay? You write it down in a separate page so that you know these are all your content points. So this is the example. Write it down separately. Next, you have to rewrite the points. What do I mean by rewrite is, this is where you paraphrase your words. You start to use synonyms, you paraphrase, you write in your own words. So for example, there you see, the content point from the passage is start the day with some silence. So how do you write this in your own words? You can say beginning of the day with quietness. This is how you change it. Okay, use synonyms. All right. Second, empty your mind. In another way, you can say clearing our thoughts. Number 3, stop talking so much and start thinking. How do you paraphrase this? You can say think more deeply and reduce the idle chatter. Content number 4, take their mind through a series of relaxing images. You can paraphrase it and you can say thinking of images that relax us. Number 5, switch off all of the noise in your house. You can paraphrase and say turn off any sound in our home. Content number 6, take some time to appreciate your environment. You can use the phrase, start to enjoy our surroundings. And the last one, breaking up the day with quiet periods or go somewhere quiet to get away. So how do you paraphrase this is dividing up the day into peace and quiet periods. All these content points, when you paraphrase, it somehow becomes short also. So this is how you can fit all your content points into the summary writing. So please remember, this is just a sample on how you should paraphrase your summary content points and write in your own choice of word. Remember, it's very important for you to not change the meaning of the points. If you change the meaning, you will lose mark. You cannot change the meaning of your content points. So be careful when you paraphrase them, even when you use synonyms. And stage 4, you have to rank in order of the importance and similar ideas. This is also important. Like I said, it's very important for you to organize your points and arrange them accordingly. Okay, so you rearrange your points and then you can start writing already. So this is just a sample, okay? Content you write, you don't have a title for summary, yeah? Please remember this. No title is required for summary writing. You can immediately start writing the summary in one paragraph. Okay, one paragraph only. Don't have to write 3 paragraphs, don't have to write 5 paragraphs. Summary writing is always in one paragraph and there's no title for it. Okay? And also no introduction required. You can immediately start with the first point itself. All right? You can use topic sentence. All right? You can use topic sentence such as our world can be stressful with so much of noise around with us, but there are ways to reduce it. That's how you introduce the topic. Once you introduce the topic, you can start with the first point already. The second sentence, you can start with your content points. So you can see the words in black, right? I mean, in the black box. So that's how you start. The first one is, we can turn off any sounds in our home. So then we might start to enjoy our surroundings by sitting back, clearing our thoughts and just thinking of images that relax us. This is just an example. Next one, moving on. You can continue with the next content points, okay? Content point number 5 and 6, you can say we can start this at the beginning of the day and then increase the frequency by dividing up the day into times where there are quiet periods. And then the last one, once we think more deeply about the things that matter, we might start to reduce the sound of our adult chatter. Remember, summary doesn't require introduction. It doesn't require conclusion as well. You just introduce the topic by writing a topic sentence, and then you can write all the 8 content points. All right, word limit is 100 to 120. Don't forget. This is how your final summary answer would look like. Okay, just like this in one paragraph. So let me explain the marking criteria again. Content points, you will achieve 7 to 8. The highest score is 7 to 8. Only if you include a very good range of relevant points. There is no irrelevant information. That means you did not add anything other than what is required. Okay. So 7 to 8, if you have included 7 to 8 points. If you include 7 points, then you get 7. If you include 8, you get 8. Okay. But if you include 5 or 6, then yes, you'll get 5 or 6. Okay, just accordingly. So content actually, it covers the relevance and development of your ideas. The next part is the language. They will also check your language. Okay, this is where it's important. You will only receive 7 to 8 if your points are very well organized and coherent. Okay, cohesive devices are used effectively, very good use of own words, high level of accuracy, vocabulary, and grammatical structure. Okay, so the range of complexity of vocab and sentence structure is important for you to achieve the high score for your language. Okay, but if your points are just well organized and coherent, you have a good choice of own words and also a very good level of accuracy of vocab and simple sentence structure, then you will receive 5 to 6. Okay? Remember this. So the checklist for summary writing. First, you need to understand the topic. Don't forget, it's very important for you to understand the topic. Second, the word count is important. Follow the word limit. Third, relevant points. The content points must be relevant to what the question has asked you to write for. Spelling is also important. Okay, this is a writing task, so of course, spelling is important. Next, punctuation. Okay, your capital letters. Okay, your comma, your full stop. All these are very important. Vocabulary, your choice of words. Okay, your synonyms. And then the last one is cohesive devices, which is the linking words. Like I said, you can use words like furthermore, in addition, all right, and so on. And we have come to the end of our session. Do you have any question for exercise 1, 2, 3, and 4? So far, any question? Those online, if you have any question, you can ask me. So if you have no question, then we shall wrap up this session. I will see you guys in the next session where I will discuss further on exercise 5 and exercise 6. So that is all for now. Thank you, everyone. See you later.